Welcome to the ASMR Help Desk. How may I help you today? Oh, okay. You're interested in purchasing some archery equipment. Excellent. Okay, well that is a different department, so if you will just hold for just a moment, I will transfer you over to our archery sales department. Okay, hold please. How may I help you? Alright, you're looking for some archery equipment. How familiar are you with the sport of archery? Just starting out. Okay. Have you ever shot? Alright. Couple times at camp. I understand that. Did you have an idea of the type of bow you were looking for? Are you just target shooting or you planning on going hunting? Just target shooting. Alright. So you're doing this more for sport? Okay. Well then, if I may, I would like to recommend that you go for a recurve or a longbow. You could go for one of these compound deals, but kind of simplify it for you. I do realize that any seasoned archers might disagree. And yes, there are different things you can do with a compound compared to a recurve. But since you're just starting out, I think it's good to start with the basics. You get good with a recurve or a longbow, well, then when you get to compound, you'll be good to go if you decide to continue. We have two different types of recurves. One is the Samick Sage, and the other is the Southwest. Now both of them have a riser. That's the part that you hold, where you can switch out the arms, so that way, if you want to try different pounds of draw weight, you can do that. Personally, I like the Southwest. It's a little bit pricier, but if you need a bigger draw weight or you need a longer draw length, then you can get longbow arms to accommodate you. That's what I like. And again, I know if there are any seasoned archers listening, there's a lot more to it, but I'm just simplifying it for you. Yeah. I want to make it easy for you to get into the sport. So they both have risers with swappable arms. And they're both ergonomically designed. And they made them, for the Samick Sage, it's made of maple. It's real pretty, let me tell you. And you can get them both in right and left-handed. Would you want a right-handed one or a left-handed one? Okay. Yeah, well, we got both, so you'll be all set. Another thing I like about these, both of them, is you can keep them strong. Now, it's typically not a good idea to keep a bow strong for too long, but even the best of us forget. And, well, if you're dealing with certain type of recurve bows and you keep them strong, well, it can kind of wear out the arms, if you know what I'm saying. But with these, because of the fiberglass, you can keep them strong for a long time and they won't bend. And they'll keep their strength to them. Now, for the Samick, you can get from 25-pound draw weight to a 60-pound draw weight. Now, I got a question for you. Gonna sound a little personal, but something I gotta ask. When you lift weights, if you've lifted weights recently, would you consider yourself someone who can lift a lot of weight, someone who can lift just a little bit, or medium level, or just someone who can got noodles for arms? All right. Well then, it sounds like you may want to start in the mid-range, maybe around a 30 or 40-pound draw weight, and then work yourself up to 50 and 60 pound. It's not that I don't think you could do 50 or 60 pound, I'm sure you could. But let me tell you, after you shoot about 20 arrows, your shoulder and your arm and your back is gonna be tired, let me tell you, even if you're doing only 30 or 40. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't explain it. So with a bow, you have two things you gotta think about. You got your draw weight and you got your draw length. Your draw weight is usually tied to how big you are and how strong you are. Draw length, well, that's pretty much down to how long your arms are. That really ain't gonna change that much. You can work yourself up in draw weight, but draw length, I haven't really heard too many people going up in draw length unless they were, growing up. Now, one thing that's important to remember, this is how I do draw length. What you do is you hold the arm out that will be holding the bow. Hold it straight out. Okay, pretend like you're holding the bow. And then you get a string, and you take that string and you bring it to your nose. That's what I like to do. Other people like to do it different. I do it this way. It's been working for me for 57 years, so I just figure, you do it differently, And they also got contraptions and stuff you can use to measure. I just like to do it this. I get a string, wrap it around my thumb, hold my arm out, hold your arm out. So like I said, you hold your arm straight out. You wrap a string around your thumb, and then you make sure the slack hangs back, and you pull it to right under your nostril. Now, you may not pull all the way back to there, but that's about where you want the string to be pulling back, and that's your draw length, that whatever it is from your thumb to your nostril. So you take that string and you measure it, and that's going to get you your draw length. And you want to make sure that you get arms that are going to allow you to get that draw length. That's important, because you don't want to be pulling your string. You don't want your string to not be pulling at full length, because you can be dangerous if you ain't doing it right. So those are the two things you want to think about. Now, as I said, we have the Samick Sage, and that's a good one. I like it. We got a nice little package here that we can ship on out to you, and it'll come with everything. It'll come with the riser, come with the arms and the bushings that you need to attach the arms, as well as the Dacron string, the rest, and all of that. It's really a nice little package. Get you started. Now you're going to need your arrows. We'll get to that a little bit later. But this is, to be honest, a very reasonable bow. Now this is known as a takedown recurve bow. What that means is you can take it down, you can take it apart. So that way you can dismantle it. So you don't have to have a big old thing to carry it in. That being said, I've had one of these suckers strung up and hanging on my wall for the last year and a half. Haven't touched it. Well, I've touched it to shoot, but haven't taken it down. But it's a nice feature if you need it. Now, I will say it's not like one of these fancy pants things that you just flick your arm and it pops open like you see in the movies. I have some of those myself, and they are fun. They are neat. They're really good for taking down stuff if you need to get your bow out quickly, but you're target shooting, so you ain't gotta worry about that. And I'll be honest, I haven't touched those bows of mine in years. Funny how you use something every day for years and then you just stop using them. Such is life. Now, I'm going to tell you about the Southwest Spider takedown recurve bow. Now, I like this thing. This thing is nice. The only thing about it is it doesn't have quite the draw length for me, so I don't use it, but I use its bigger brother, the Ghost, which is the Longbow. I like it a little better. You can use the Longbow arms on the Spider if you want, and vice versa. But I just like the Ghost. The Ghost is pretty. Very pretty, and it's also got all the connectors, so if you want to get a sight in there or anything like that, you can definitely do that. You could use the Ghost. I like the Ghost. It's nice. But the Spider's good, and the Spider XL is good. And truth be told, I was going to just get a Spider XL, but when I went to do it, we were sold out, and I wasn't able to get one. So I went ahead and got myself a Ghost. And I've been happy with that decision. So that's what I've got. Well, truth be told, I got all of them, but when I go target shooting, the Ghost is what I pick up. It's my personal favorite. I've shot it with a basic rest. I've shot it with a target rest. I've also shot it with a shelf rest. I personally like it with. I've also shot it with a whisker biscuit. Now, I like the whisker biscuit. A friend of mine used to say the whisker biscuit was cheating, that I should have been using the shelf rug. Which I always found funny because she never shot a bow in her life. She preferred guns, but that's a whole other story. Would take too long to tell. I also that's one thing I do like about the Southwest packages, whether you get the Spider or you get the Ghost. get the Ghost, get it. Never mind. Is that the Southwest comes with a stringer tool. Now, Stringer tools are nice because they make it that you can string up the bow safely and easily. You look like a damn fool while you're doing it, but it definitely works. I will say the Ghost is a little bit more expensive because the riser's bigger and the arms are longer, that sort of thing. We also have those in left and right hand. So I'm sorry, I've been chattering away, talking about the spider, Samick Sage, Ghost. Do any of these look interesting to you? Okay. That sounds good. I can pick up one of those for you. Send that to you. Now, do you have an account with us? Okay, so you do. We got your address on file. Anything change with that? Okay. We can make that work. We can definitely make that work. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this package, get ready to send out to you. Now, before I finish this out, there's going to be a couple other things we need to talk about. First thing, are you going to be interested in something like a whisker biscuit or shelf rug, that kind of stuff? I know all these all sound like euphemisms, but they're real. Let me tell you. Okay, if you're just starting out, I would suggest a whisker biscuit, and we've got one right here. It's real cheap. In fact, I'll do you a favor. Okay, don't tell my boss. I'm just kidding. I'm the boss. I'm the one that runs this department, so I can do it. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna throw in a whisker biscuit for free, because this is a pretty big purchase, and I want to make sure you enjoy what you get. One thing that's nice about this, if you set it up right, and we'll send you instructions on how to set it up, you'll be shooting in pretty close groupings pretty fast if you have a whisker biscuit. And my friend used to say it's cheating. Well, it's not really cheating, but it's kind of like cheating. But it works. It's nice. So we're going to get you that set up. And I'm going to send you, this is all going to come with instructions on how to use it. And if you have any questions, you can always call back in. I'll be happy to help you set them up. Now, you're also going to need a knock. And I would suggest getting a knock wrench. Now, this sounds like I'm all trying to sell you even more than what you came in to buy, but these are all things you do need to properly use your bow. Because if you aren't doing it right, you're going to be shooting arrows left and right and nowhere near the target. And you're going to be taking out small animals you didn't mean to take out. Trust me. Now, here's a question. Do you have tools in your house? Okay, what you're going to need to do is just get yourself a square. Okay? And you're going to use that to figure out where to put your knock. All right? And I'm going to throw in some knocks along with the whisker biscuit for free, no extra charge. I can also throw in a knock wrench for you. All right? Now this thing, it's nice. It's going to work for you. It's real easy, and it's only just $10 more. That's all it is. You're already spending what you're spending. I think just doing $10 more, I think is worth it. So that way you can just get started almost right away once you get your package. All right. Now, do you have any targets? And I don't mean siblings. Okay, you do. You do have some targets. That's good. Okay, now I gotta ask you, why do you have targets and you don't have a bow and arrow? Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, a lot of times you find the strangest things when you move into a new place. Yeah, trust me. Found a wedding dress in the attic one time. Very weird. Anyway. I just have a couple other questions for you. All right. So we got you pretty much almost entirely all set for your bow. But we don't got your arrows. Okay, we can get you set up with some arrows. All right. I can't throw them in. Just because it's better to shoot arrows instead of throw them. Get it? No, I'm sorry. I won't make jokes like that again. I apologize. Now, there's a whole lot of stuff about arrows, about their spine numbers and their all that kind of detailed stuff, their length, all that needs to come into play, and it's a lot to take in at first. That's another benefit of one of these packages. Because what I'm going to do is if you say, okay, I'll charge you $30 more and I'll throw in 20 arrows, okay? And they're going to be arrows that'll work with your bow. Okay? They'll work with your bow. And then I'll also send some directions, instructions on what all those numbers mean. So that way when you're ready to get more arrows, you'll know what you're doing. Or if you're not interested, you can just call us back up, order more. Or you can, go on the internets and get some too. All right? Sound good? Okay. This all sounds great. Okay. Now, couple more things before we finish this up. Okay. So after you get your bow, you get it all set up, get it knocked up, get it knocked up, everything. Wait. Get a knock on it. Yeah. Get everything set up. You're feeling good. What's one of the first things you're going to want to do after you get it strung up, knocked up? I know what I said. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to draw it back. And you're not going to have an arrow in it because you're probably going to still be inside. Because that's the first thing everybody does the first time they pick up an actual bow. They draw it back. And half of them let go of the string. And that's known as a dry fire. That's dry fire in your bow. And that is the absolute last thing you want to do with your bow. Because when you're shooting, what happens is all that energy in the string gets transferred into the arrow and sent, and that's why the arrow goes flying. But when there isn't any arrow, there's nowhere for that energy to go except into the bow itself. And again, anybody who knows more about this than anybody knows anything more than the basics probably has a qualm about all of that, but I'm just explaining it in a way that's easy to understand. There's nowhere for that energy to go. So it's going to go into the bow. Now, I ain't going to lie. Maybe about half the time, nothing's going to happen. Bow will just shake. It'll feel weird in your hand. And if any experienced archers are around you, they're going to make loud noises and say, "Oh, don't do that." And they'll scold you. But the other half the time, your bow's going to break. And it will break a bow. I've seen dry-fired bows splinter. So don't do it. It's important. Just don't do it. Never draw back the string unless you have an arrow knocked. Alright? Sound good? Alright. And I'm serious, I can't send this to you unless you tell me you will never draw back that string without an arrow knocked. I'll know. Alright. That's good. Glad to hear it. How long have I been shooting? Well, as I said, I've been shooting for about 57 years, give or take. Yeah, damnedest thing. I actually, bit of a sad story. Don't want to bring it too much of a downer, but I was an orphan, my brother and I, and we actually, and it's gonna sound, you ain't gonna believe me, but this is true. We actually got picked up by the circus, and we worked in a circus or carnival sometimes, and we toured all over the country. And at first, my brother and I were, taking care of the animals and basically helping set up stages and tents and stuff like that. We were in our mid-teens, and then I met up with this guy, called himself a swordsman. He was, one of them. He did sword tricks and stuff, 8 swords, all that type of stuff. And he and a buddy of his, Trick, taught me how to shoot, and I got pretty good at it. Got real good at it. And so yeah, I've been doing it ever since. And and then about 15 years ago, I retired. Moved down south here and just kind of settled in. Really kind of blend in, if you know what I'm saying. I was good at what I did. I was known for what I did. But I like the anonymity. Especially in my retirement. Yeah. Oh my goodness, I just looked at how long I've been keeping you. Well, we want to wrap this up. So here's what I'm going to do. Okay. I see here that you're all set up. Oh, I just have one more question. Because we still have, and you sound like you're a little young, but it also applies to your immediate family. We still run this discount special because we recognize that this was a difficult time in everybody's lives, but where you or one of your immediate family members blipped. All right, well, that gets you a bit of a discount. I'll admit I feel a bit foolish asking the question because, pretty much everybody had somebody, you know what I mean? Well, fair enough. I asked you, well, to be honest, it was my whole family. Wife and my kids. But thankfully I got them back. So, yeah, it was a hard 5 years, let me tell you. Well, anyway, so we got you all set up. It's on its way. And if you have any questions, just go ahead and give us a call back. And if you'd like to speak to me, my name is Clint. All right. Well, thank you so much for calling today. I hope you enjoy your bow and arrow. If you get a chance, go ahead and take some pictures of yourself. Send them into our social medias. The guy who first answered the phone, he'll make sure that I see him. Yeah. All right, well, thank you again. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye. This show is part of the CIP network, where we inspire creativity one episode at a time.